Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So on today's video, I'm going to speak about 5 business and job opportunities that are going to shape this decade. If as a student or a young professional or even as an experienced professional, you understand the power behind these 5 business and job ideas that I'll speak about on today's video, it can prove to be a game changer for you. So from that perspective, please listen to this video very carefully, make notes. It's a super important video. Also, a very quick shout out to our knowledge partners for today, which is Cuckoo FM. I absolutely love their product. I have been listening to a very interesting book on Cuckoo FM called as The Power of Starting Something Stupid. So that's a very interesting book that I was listening to, and I will link it in the description box and you can check it out. It inspired me in a way to shoot this video, so I hope that you enjoy this video. There are 5 specific business and job opportunities that I would like to discuss with you. But before that, let me set some context so that these trends become clearer to you. So first and foremost, we need to quickly understand the difference between Web 1.0, Web 2.0 and Web 3.0. Because the 5 ideas that I'll be speaking about, they are Web 3.0 driven ideas. So a very quick story. So let us trace the history of the internet, and the first version of the internet was very basic. What it was simply trying to do was that it was converting physical books into digital books. For example, I love reading these type of physical books. I read it all the time. And the simplest form of the internet, which was Internet 1.0, it simply put these type of books onto the internet, and these were static internet pages. That's it. Then we moved on to Web 2.0, and on Web 2.0, some really interesting things played out. For example, there were big companies, big tech monopolies, they started hogging the internet in a way. For example, when you went and opened your account on Facebook, Facebook had entire control of that particular universe. For example, you will sign up by using your data on Facebook. Facebook will collect that data. They will give this data to advertisers, and advertisers will keep on showing you really weird ads all the time. So you as a user had no control over your data, and big tech companies, they literally built monopolies by extracting data from you. So this problem in a very simple word can be described as the problem of centralization, because there were some really big companies, for example, Facebook, Amazon, Google, they became really big and they monopolized the business and they were the central powers. Therefore, this was excessive centralization. Then comes the savior, which is Web 3.0. So in Web 3.0, it's a very elaborate concept. So I'll make an entire video on that. If there is enough interest, do press the like button. It indicates to me that you would want me to make such videos. But in simple words, Web 3.0 gives a lot of autonomy to users. I had made a separate video on what BAT tokens are. You can go and check it here to understand more about Web 3.0. But in simple words, in Web 3.0, you control your own data. You have a lot of autonomy and you decide whether you want to give your data or not. And by using browsers like Brave browsers these days, instead of Safari and Google Chrome, if you use Brave browser, then you can check mark that, okay, I would like to see ads, and you get paid to see those ads. So this is the functionality of Web 3.0. A lot of decentralization is happening in the way the internet is run. So with this dynamic change, there are a range of opportunities that are opening up, and it's very important for us to understand what kind of businesses and jobs we can get in this new economy. So the first key job that is coming up in this new economy is called as creator economy jobs. Now, for a lack of better word, I have termed it as creator economy jobs, but you need to understand the principle. Now, one of the key problems that is being faced in the creator economy is that there are a lot of commissions at play. So let's assume that you are an author. Now, in order to publish your book, you will work really hard. Then you will go to a publishing house. You will keep on sending your scripts and bunch of different things. And finally, if your script gets an approval, then the book gets published and it gets sold to people. But at the back end, what happens is that the publishing house keeps 80% of the commissions and author only ends up getting 20% of the commissions. But if you strip all this away, what is the simple dynamics that an author? So let's assume me, I want to deliver my book to you and you love reading my work. Then I could potentially cut out the middlemen and all of us benefit. For example, I can pass on the cost benefits for you. So instead of selling my book at 300 rupees, I will just sell it at 150 rupees and pass on most of the benefits to you. So it's a win-win for both the creator and the audiences. So now this commission problems plays out in any kind of creative field or an artistic field. For example, if let's assume that you're a musician, same thing, that you have to go to a record label, you have to pay them almost 80-90% royalty. You as a singer or a composer will get a very little amount. So that again becomes a problem. So what is the solution that is coming up and how you can benefit from it? So the solution is, so these days creators are on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and bunch of different things. In case you're not following me, do follow me. That will support my work. It will help me out a lot and I'll be deeply grateful. Again, back to the story that these days creators have distribution that is already built. For example, I as a content creator, I'm directly reaching out to you via YouTube. So this distribution is already there. And what Web 3.0 allows us to do is that it allows us to create NFTs. Now, NFTs have two direct advantages. Now, the first direct advantage is that the supporters can directly support creators if they buy NFTs. For example, let's say that I'm coming up with my book, and as a matter of fact, I am. So my book will be released sometime this year. So let's say that I'm releasing my book and I, along with the book, have an option of selling an NFT. So I sell a book, I sell an NFT. Now, what is the utility of this? That, okay, you will consume, you will buy my book, have a good time reading it, hopefully. And then what can you do with the NFT? So let's say that you really like my book and you want to have a conversation with me. So what you can do is that if you have purchased this NFT, then one of the rewards can get unlocked. For example, it could be one-on-one Zoom call. It could be a live meeting. It could be an invite to participate in a group meeting. So all these functionalities can be built around an NFT. I've done a separate video, so you can go check it out. So this is the power and this is the game that can come out in the creator economy, which leads us to what kind of business you can build here. So predominantly there are numerous set of businesses that you can build, but two major types that I see building out are that you can become a firm that can help creators launch NFTs. For example, if I'm trying to launch my NFT, you can literally create a firm and, just ping me that, hey Akshat, you know what? We loved your video. We would like to help you launch your NFT. Here is how you approach us. So that can be a solid business. The second key business that you can do is that you can create a firm that specializes in marketing NFTs, because the way the marketing is done for NFT, it is very, very different. So in case you're not into programming, technical and hard skills, you can build a company that helps creators in terms of marketing their NFTs. So these are the two major types of businesses that you can experiment with in terms of creator economy. Now, NFTs are of multiple types, and the type of jobs that you can get in the NFT space, again, they can be of 100 different types. I'm posting a job here. So these are the type of jobs that are paying really well. For example, this is a job about Solidity developer for NFT games. Now, this is a real job posting. And if you go and apply for these type of jobs, these days, people are making an annual salary of 40-50 lakhs also easily in blockchain development. So the second business that I'm super excited about in the Web 3.0 space is DeFi based AMCs or hedge funds. So just a very quick run up as to what AMCs or hedge funds do. So hedge funds deal with HNIs, so high net worth individuals, and AMCs mostly deal with retail investors. So you and I, for example, when we get our monthly salary, we go and give it to HDFC AMC, right? And the fund manager there will say, okay, thank you for giving me 20,000 rupees, then goes and buys a bunch of stocks on your behalf. And in the middle, he or she will take commissions. Now, same is the model with hedge funds also. The only difference is that hedge funds usually tend to deal with high net worth individuals. So both AMCs and hedge funds thrive on commissions. That is their bread and butter. And they really look to optimize commissions. It's not as if that they will pass on all the benefits to you, because that is literally their bread and butter, right? If you're paying them 20,000 rupees and they are not charging any commissions from you, then they will not make any money in the process. Now, DeFi based AMC businesses have the power to bring down this commission by a lot. Why do I say that? Because the transaction on the blockchains are getting more and more easier. They are getting more cost effective with time. Please don't compare the current rates. When I'm sending Bitcoin from my Vault account to my wallet, I'm getting charged high commissions. That is there on almost all the platforms right now, because the blockchain or DeFi space is still getting more and more efficient with time. Just to give you an example, in 2022 mid, Ethereum is making a shift towards proof of stake. Please don't worry about all these technical terms, but simply put, it is becoming more efficient, and majority of the DeFi systems right now are Ethereum based. If there is a successful upgrade of Ethereum, then the transaction costs are going to come down. And this is not the end. With time, the transaction or flow of money will become so smooth on the DeFi systems that the commissions will be reduced quite a lot. And as a result, the fund managers who are experimenting with the DeFi space, they will be able to offer their work at a very low commissions. And this essentially becomes a very potent business model. Now you'll say, Akshat, how do I build a business in this space? To be honest, right now there is no regulatory framework in terms of building a DeFi based AMC business. Honestly, it can be done. I technically can do it literally tomorrow. Let me know in the comment box if you would want me to do that. Honestly, I'm not going to do. I'm just taking poll from all of you what you think about this idea. But the bottom line is that this is going to be disruptive and someone is going to start a DeFi based AMC or a hedge fund business in India also and grow it to scale. And that potentially becomes a unicorn idea. Of course, there are challenges associated with it that regulations might come, a lot of systemic changes might happen, but keep an eye out for this space in case you are someone from finance background. You are interested in the AMC space, understand its potential and try to create a business out of it. Now you'd say, Akshat, this is like super complex space. Can I get a job in this space? What do I need to do? So number one, you must learn about DeFi, decentralized finance. Plus, you must also become a content writer because a lot of AMC based businesses and fintech based businesses, they are trying to create their content curation strategy. So you will keep on seeing jobs like these and these become high paying jobs also. And the best part is that you don't need any technical skills per se to execute these jobs. All you need is to develop your knowledge base about blockchain, cryptocurrencies, DeFi, and bunch of this new gen finance. Now, the third type of business idea that will be built in the next coming few years is the integration apps. Now, what do I mean by integration apps? So let us try to understand the problem first by picking a very specific example. So many of us work with major corporations. When we apply abroad, we have to send letter of recommendation. Or if you're changing our job, then again, that LOR is required by majority of the employer, wherever you are getting recruited. What happens is that when you go and ask your boss that, hey boss, I need a letter of recommendation. Can you please do that for me? The boss creates a lot of ruckus, right? They will say that, what, our company policy is not this, that, and they will, be a little bit iffy in terms of issuing that letter for you. Technically, that letter should be issued for you because you have worked at that organization and you should be getting detailed performance report. Okay. Add on to it the fact that your performance reports are not released easily by your existing organization. If, for example, let's say that you are moving from Microsoft to Google and you have had excellent performances at Microsoft, how are you going to prove it to Google that you have had excellent performances? By showing your performance report or feedbacks. But can you do it easily? The answer is no. It's not easy for you to do it because this data is centralized by different corporations. And it's not easy for you to pull your own data and show it to different organizations that you're moving to. This problem also exists in education or your medical records that, some doctor will refuse to release your medical records to other hospital, though these are your records only. So this non-integration of your own data leads to a lot of problem for you and creates a lot of hassle. So this problem can be solved by creating something called as dApps, decentralized applications. Now let me give you one concrete example of an app that already exists. It is called as MetaMask and it is one of the most famous wallets that is out there. What MetaMask simply does is that this acts like a central repository of all the NFTs that you're buying, all the cryptos that you have, a bunch of other blockchain finance assets that you will be owning. So this becomes like an integration app for your finance. This becomes like a wallet. Wherever you're going to the crypto world, this is the wallet that you carry. So it's a very simple idea. Similarly, similar ideas will be built out in the field of healthcare, in the field of employment, in the field of HR and bunch of other fields by using the concept of dApps. So if you're trying to start a business, you can literally build an integration driven business by using this concept of dApps. Now comes the fourth and the most exciting idea for me, which is DeFi staking. Now, what is DeFi staking? So in simple terms, you might have seen that if you open your account on Vault, what happens is that you buy a Bitcoin and you do a fixed deposit and you're making 6.7% returns on your fixed deposit. And then how is it that Vault is making money through you from this process? They are paying you 6.7% return. But what they do is that they do DeFi staking. They will pick up the Bitcoin that you have given them because you have done an FD with Vault. Then they will go and stake it in certain DeFi protocol. Now, this is beyond the scope of this video, so I'll keep the description really short. Now, explaining this process is highly complicated, so I don't know if you would want to know that. But in simple terms, what Vault is doing is that you are doing your fixed deposit with Vault at 6.7%. Vault is doing its fixed deposit with someone else at 7.5%, and they are keeping commissions. So this is called as DeFi staking, and it's a complex process. And as normal retail investors, it is very difficult for us to open up the staking node and do this DeFi staking on our own. There is a lot of risk involved. There is a lot of complexity involved. But with time, this process will get simplified, right? For example, Zerodha, when it started out, it simplified the entire concept of buying and selling stocks in India. Similarly, Robinhood, which started very recently in the US, it simplified the concept of buying and selling stocks for retail investors. Similarly, an idea where this DeFi staking becomes super easy to do for retail investors will gain a lot of traction. In case someone is building an idea, please ping me. I'll be super happy to invest in your business. So this idea has massive potential and you should definitely learn more about this space. I'll keep on making more videos on this topic. Now, fifth and final idea that I would like to discuss on today's video is Shopify for dApps. Now, what Shopify is, if you know about the company, what it simply does is that it's a marketplace for entrepreneurs, right? For example, if I'm running a very small business, then I would have to figure out everything, right? From how to market my business, how to build a website for it, how to automate sales, how to ensure lead generations, how to ensure operations, lot of different problems I might have as a small time entrepreneur. So I simply go on Shopify and it acts like a mega mall for me where I can show and display my business and they solve all the problems for me. And in return, they keep a certain commission of the sales that I'm generating. Now, this model is brilliant if you're creating any dApps, especially if you're a very small entrepreneur and you can't go and hire like 10 blockchain developers, then a team of marketing people, then a team of content writing people. So someone who can build out a Shopify for dApps, that idea can become really explosive. This again is a great idea and I wish I had more time. I would have definitely pursued it. But due to the paucity of time, I'm just looking for businesses where I can go and provide strategic help and invest in them direct. So I hope that you learned a ton of stuff from this video. And just as a passing note that if you're looking to get jobs in this economy, the Web 3.0 economy, then you must either develop your technical acumen because that is going to be very important. So learn about Solidity, learn about Rust and bunch of other different programming languages. You can become a blockchain developer. If you're not interested in the tech space, then move towards the software elements like marketing, content writing. These are all great opportunities and crypto firms and blockchain firms are paying insane amount of money for you to get on that bandwagon. And also do go and check out my recommendations on Kuku FM. I will integrate more resources and keep on adding it in the description box and check out the special offer as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you the next time.